Alrighty folks, welcome to my Major League Baseball free pick video here today for Wednesday, June 26, 2024. Happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day to you. Weekend's right around the corner. We are halfway there. And of course, my name is Brock Page. I've been dishing out free sports picks right here on YouTube since 2016. And if you want to see which one of these free plays on this video that I actually like the best, you may want to think about signing up for my daily best play on my premium page. It's just 6 cents a day for 30 days worth of service. The link is in the description section. And with that, folks, let's just go ahead and dive right into some free content. We're going to take a look at the Mariners at the Rays, 12:10 p.m. East. Seattle's minus $1.20 on the road here. Totals 8 runs. George Kirby for the M's. Ryan Pepiot for Tampa Bay. And Pepiot's just 4-4 with an ERA of 4.61. Now, Tampa's also one of the lower run-producing teams at home in the American League. And they're facing a tough Seattle pitching staff who allows just 7.1 hits a game. Of course, on the mound today, George Kirby's been no exception to that. He's got 89 strikeouts and a sub-1 whip. Now, injury-wise, Ahmed Rosario is questionable for the Rays. Give me Seattle minus $1.20, under 8. Next game, Phillies, Tigers, 1:10 p.m. East. Philadelphia's minus $1.70, totals 8.5. Spencer Turnbull for Philadelphia. Keter Montero for Detroit. And Montero's got an ERA in the 8s after just a handful of innings. But even if he does throw well here today, the Tigers do have a few guys who struggle a bit at the plate. Zach McKinstry's batting just 197 with an OPS in the 500s. And Spencer Torkelson's hitting just 201 with a negative 1.2 WAR. And they're going to have to face former Tiger Spencer Turnbull, who's 3-0 on the year with an ERA in the 2s. Now, the Philly righty's got 56 strikeouts in just 51-plus innings. He's also got a stingy 1.05 whip. But even if Turnbull struggles here today, against his former teammates, the Phils can score with the best of them. They lead the National League right now in runs per game on average. Now, injury-wise, Real Muto and Clemens are still out for Philly. Baez and Carpenter inactive for Detroit. When it comes to the total, 7 out of Detroit's last 10 ball games did stay under the total. Meanwhile, Philadelphia went 60% to the under in their last 10. Give me the Phillies minus 170, under 8.5. Next game, Pirates Reds, 1:10 p.m. East. Cincinnati's $1.25 at home here. Totals 9 runs. Graham Ashcraft for Cincinnati. Luis Ortiz for Pittsburgh. And the righty Ortiz has an ERA of 3.45. I'll tell you what, these Pittsburgh pitchers have been tough to hit against on the road. Pittsburgh's in the top 5 in the league in strikeouts per 9 while traveling. And they're facing one of the worst hitting teams in the game, since he's currently in the bottom 3 in hits per game on their own diamond. Will Benson hits just 188 with 100 strikeouts on the year. Of course, Ellie De La Cruz, he has a league worst 103 strikeouts on the season. Both players are number 1 and number 2 on that strikeout list. Now, as a team, the Reds definitely took the loss in 7 out of their last 10 ball games. When it comes to the injury list, Friedel's out for the Reds. Bart's inactive for Pittsburgh. When it comes to the total, 3 out of Pittsburgh's last 4 road games did get over the total. They also averaged over 5.1 runs a game in their last 10 meetings with the Reds. So if you're into historical trends, you certainly want to think about that one there. Now, since he saw 3 out of their last 5 at the Great American Ballpark get over the line, got that short porch there. Give me Pittsburgh plus 105, over 9. Next game, Braves, Cardinals, game 1. That'll be a 1:45 Eastern first pitch. Atlanta's the $1.30 favorite in game 1. Totals 8.5. Ronaldo Lopez for Atlanta. Kyle Gibson for St. Louis. And I'll tell you what, despite some good stuff out of Gibson, the Cards are having significant problems at the dish. They're a bottom 10 run producing team. And Nolan Gorman's hitting just 195 with 100 strikeouts on the year. Mike Ciani's got an OPS in the 500s. And they're going to face Ronaldo Lopez, who's been tough to hit this year. He's 5-2 with an ERA of 157. I tell you what, on the road, these Braves pitchers, they've thrown nothing but gas. They're striking out more batters while traveling than any other staff in the game. Now, the Braves have also gotten the outright W in Lopez's last 4 straight starts. They scored 22 total runs during that span. Now, injury-wise, Michael Harris is still out for the Braves. Herrera and Nootbaar inactive for St. Louis. When it comes to the total, the undercashed in Lopez's last 5 straight starts. As a matter of fact, out of 13 total starts this season, the undercashed in all of them except for 2. Give me the Braves minus 130, under 8.5 in Game 1. Next contest, Rockies, Astros, 2:10 p.m. East. Houston's the $2 favorite, totals 8.5. Spencer Arrighetti for the Stros, Ryan Feltner for Colorado. And Feltner's recorded only 1 win in 80-plus innings. The righty's just 1-6 with an ERA in the 6s. And this Rocky pitching staff, they've definitely been brutal on the road. They're allowing more runs a game away from home than any other staff in baseball. They're facing a Houston squad who averages more hits per 9 than any other roster in the league. Jose Altuve is batting .301 and leads the organization in hits. And Yordan Alvarez has an on-base percentage of .359. As bad as Arrighetti's been on the bump, the Astros did get the W in 5 out of his last 8 starts. Now, injury-wise, Caratini and Tucker are out for the Stros. Blackmon, Bryant, and Diaz are inactive for Colorado. 6 out of Houston's last 10 ball games got over the total. And out of 15 Ryan Feltner starts this year, the over cashed in all of those contests except for 2. Give me Houston minus 1.5. Over 8.5. Next game, Marlins, Royals, 2:10 p.m. East. Kansas City's the $2.25 favorite, totals 9. Brady Singer for the Royals, Valente Beloso for the Marlins. And the 24-year-old righty, he bounced between AA and AAA ball this year. Had a .566 ERA in Jacksonville, .460 ERA in Pensacola. And I'll tell you what, this Marlins pitching staff been a bit of a disaster this year as a whole. They've just they've been as bad as Colorado. They're in the bottom 3 in the league in runs allowed per game. And they're facing a Kansas City squad who definitely pounds the baseball at Kauffman Stadium. The Royals average more runs a game at home than any other lineup besides one. Bobby Witt Jr. is batting .311 and leads the club in RBI. Of course, Salvi Perez has an on-base percentage of .350. Now on the mound, starting pitcher Brady Singer, he's got a handful of wins and an ERA in the low 3s. And with that in mind, I actually still do think this one can get over the total. KC very strong at the plate in front of their own fans. Give me KC minus 1.5, over 9. Next game, Rangers, Brewers, 2:10 p.m. East. Texas is minus $1.20, totals 8.5. Nathan Eovaldi for the Rangers. No confirmed starter yet for the Brewers. Most likely a bullpen session here today. But regardless of who gets the nod, these Brewers hitters have been very good at home. They're in the top 3 in runs per game in their own building. Christian Yelich bats .317 with an OPS just about in the 400s, just shy. Meanwhile, William Contreras has the most hits in the lineup. They're facing a Ranger club who's definitely had their hands full in interleague games. Out of 19 contests against the National League on the road, the Rangers have a win percentage of just .294. As good as Eovaldi's been on the mound here, this Ranger pitching staff tends to throw poorly on the road. They're allowing just way too many runs, and they actually lead the majors in walks away from home. Now, injury-wise, Evan Carter is still out for the Rangers. Gary Sanchez, questionable for Milwaukee. 6 out of the Brewers' last 10 ball games got over the total. They're also 23-13 of the over in their own ballpark. Give me the Brewers plus $1, over 8.5. Next game, Athletics, Angels, 4:07 Eastern start time. The Angels are minus $120, totals 9 runs. Ronzi Contreras for the Angels, Joey Estes for Oakland. And even though Estes has allowed his fair share of runs, he's recorded only 2 losses through 40-plus innings. He's also got a whip of 1.25. And I'll tell you what, the A's are facing an Angels club who's been pretty bad at home. They're just 14-25 at Angel Stadium. They also have a losing record in their divisional games. Now, injury-wise, Drury's questionable for the Angels. Toro and Ruiz still out for Oakland. When it comes to the total, the A's are 7-4 to the under in their divisional road games. Meanwhile, Los Angeles saw 3 out of their last 4 divisional home games stay under the line themselves. Give me Oakland plus $1, under 9. All right, next contest, Nationals Padres, 4:10 p.m. East. San Diego's $1.90, totals 8. Dylan Cease for the Pods, DJ Hertz for Washington. Now the Nats have won their last 3 straight games where Hertz made the start. They actually scored 23 total runs in those 3 victories. They're facing a Padres club who really hasn't been, crisp at home. They actually have a losing record against National League opponents at Petco Park. When it comes to cashing in on the run line, they're covering in just 36% of all of their home games this year. And even though starting pitcher Dylan Cease has a whole lot of strikeouts on the year, he has recorded 6 losses, does not have a winning record, and he also has an ERA in the 4s. Now, injury-wise, Tatis, Bogarts, and Camposano are out for the Pods. Joey Gallo inactive for Washington. 6 out of the Nats' last 10 ball games stayed under the total. Give me the Nationals plus 1.5, under 8. Next game, Guardians, Orioles, 6:35 East. Baltimore's $1.80, totals 9. Grayson Rodriguez for the O's, Carlos Carrasco for Cleveland. And even though Carrasco has not been crisp, the Guardians did get the W in 2 out of his last 3 starts. When it comes to cashing in on the run line, these guys covered in 7 out of their last 10. And if you think Baltimore is good with the bats, well, Cleveland's a top 3 run-producing team themselves. Jose Ramirez has the 2nd most RBI in the majors, 5th most home runs. And Steven hit the Quan. He bats .385 with an OPS in the thousands. They're facing a Baltimore club who's actually struggled covering the run line recently themselves. Baltimore failed to cover in 6 out of their last 10 games. And as good as Rodriguez has been on the mound, well, these Baltimore pitchers as a whole, they've struggled with Cleveland recently. They've allowed over 5.1 runs a game in their last 10 head-to-head gatherings. Now, total-wise, 7 out of Baltimore's last 10 head-to-head meetings with Cleveland got over the total. So once again, if you're into historical trends, you're certainly, there's plenty of overs to go around. Meanwhile, Cleveland went 7-3 to the over in their last 10 themselves. Give me the Guardians plus 1.5, over 9. Next matchup, Yankees-Mets, 7:10 p.m. East. The Yankees are the $1.45 favorite, totals 9 runs. Luis Gil for the Yankees, Sean Manaea for the Mets. And the lefty Manaea, he's got an ERA of 4.19. The Mets can't hit for shit at home. They're actually in the bottom 3 in runs per contest on their own field. And they're facing Luis Gil, who's 9-2 with an ERA in the 2s. Despite a couple of shaky outings recently, the righty's still got a stingy 1.08 whip. But even if Gil stinks here today, and it seems like, some analysts are like jumping ship already on Gil after, a couple of bad starts. But even if Gil continues to blow chunks like Hunter Green did yesterday, the Yankees are a top 3 run-producing team on the road. Aaron Judge leads the league in homers, RBI, and OPS. Of course, Juan Soto's got the 3rd highest OPS average in the bigs himself. Now, injury-wise, Stanton's out for the Bombers. Marte's inactive for the Mets. And when it comes to the total, 4 out of the Mets' last 7 interleague contests in Flushing, Queens stayed under the total. They actually saw the undercash in Manaea's last 3 straight starts as well. Give me the Yankees minus 145, under 9. All right, next game, little AL East action. Blue Jays, Red Sox, 7:10 Eastern start time. Boston's minus $1.50, totals 9.5. Cutter Crawford for the Sox, Yariel Rodriguez for Toronto. Now, Rodriguez is 0-2 already through 16-plus innings. The Reddies got an ERA of 5.94 along with a 1.92 whip. Of course, at the plate, the Blue Jays, they just haven't been good enough. They're averaging only 7.4 hits a game on the road. And they're going to face Cutter Crawford. And I'll tell you what, when it comes to Crawford, don't let that win-loss record fool you. This guy's, he's thrown some really good innings this year. Crawford's got a 3.59 ERA along with a 1.14 whip. And through 92-plus innings of work this year, the righties punched out 95 batters. But even if Crawford has a rough go of, things here today, the Red Sox have little problem, getting base runners. They're now a top 5 hit-producing team. Connor Wong, he's batting .330, on-base percentage nearly in the 400s. And Jarren Duran, he's got an on-base percentage of .352 along with a 4.2 WAR. Now, injury-wise, Vaughn Grissom's still out for the Sox. Dalton Varsho, questionable for the Blue Jays. When it comes to the total, the Bo Sox are 23-17 of the under at Fenway Park. Give me the Bo Sox minus 150, under 9.5. Next game, Braves, Cardinals, game 2. That'll be a 7:15 Eastern first pitch. Atlanta's $1.85 in game 2, totals 8 runs. Looks like Bryce Elder for the Braves, Andre Polani for St. Louis. And even though we are taking Atlanta in game 1, I do think they could be in trouble in game 2 if Elder does get the nod. And just remember, as good as the Braves have hit St. Louis pitching recently, well, the Cards are actually doing a nice job against Atlanta pitching as well. They averaged over 5.3 runs a game in their last 10 head-to-head gatherings. So once again, even though we're taking Atlanta in game 1, give me St. Louis plus 1.5, over 8 in game 2. Next matchup, Dodgers, White Sox, 8:10 Eastern start time. The LA Dodgers are minus $1.90, totals 8 runs. Gavin Stone for the Dodgers, Eric Fetty for the White Sox. And as good as Fetty's been, well, the Sox have taken the loss in 6 out of his last 7 starts. And no real surprise here, folks. The worst team in baseball, they're the lowest run-producing team in the game. They're going to face Gavin Stone, who's 8-2 with an ERA of 3.04. But even if Stone gets rocked, the Dodgers are a top 3 hit-producing lineup on the road. Shohei Ohtani's got the second highest qualifying batting average and OPS average in the bigs. He's in the top 3 in homers as well. Of course, Freddie Freeman bats .300 with an OPS in the 900s. Now, injury-wise, Mookie Betts is out for the Dodgers. Dom Fletcher is inactive for Chicago. 6 out of Fetty's last 7 starts got over the line. Give me the Dodgers minus 1.5, over 8. The next matchup, Twins, Dbacks, 9:40 p.m. East. Minnesota's minus $1.20, totals 9. Simeon Woods Richardson for Minnesota, Ryan Nelson for Arizona. As sloppy as Nelson's been, well, he's still, recorded a handful of victories, and he does not have a losing record. Now, as a team, the D-backs did get the W in 3 out of their last 4 Nelson starts. At the plate, Arizona is a top 5 run-producing lineup in the National League. They're facing a Minnesota team who, kind of like doesn't want to win for S.W. Richardson. He's recorded only 2 wins in 60-plus innings. And the Twins as a team, they also have a losing record in their interleague games. Now, injury-wise, Kirilloff's still out for the Twins. Moreno and Thomas inactive for Arizona. 3 out of the D-backs' last 4 at Chase Field got over the total. Meanwhile, Minnesota went 7-30 the over in their last 10. Give me the D-backs plus $1, over 9. And with that, folks, we're going to jump into our next and final breakdown for the video. Going to be in that Cubs-Giants game, 9:45 Eastern first pitch. Now, this game's currently off the board. Hayden Birdsong making his debut for the Giants. Hayden Wisniewski for the Cubs. And Wisniewski's just 2-4 on the season with the Cubbies, and he's backed by a bottom 5 hit producing lineup. And they're going to take on 22-year-old Hayden Burnsong, who's looked pretty good, at Double-A Richmond this year. He recorded 61 strikeouts at that Double-A level, and that was just in 48-plus innings of work. Now, he also had a 4-2 record there, along with a 2.05 ERA. And, of course, as a team, the Giants are actually playing some pretty decent baseball at Oracle Park. They've got a .633 win percentage against National League opponents at home. Give me San Francisco getting the job done for some money line cash. And with that, folks, we're going to dive into our quick pick recap. Give me the Mariners -120, under 8. Phillies -170, over 8.5. Pirates +105, over 9. Atlanta Braves -130, under 8.5 in Game 1. Astros -1.5, over 8.5. Royals -1.5, over 9. Brewers +$1, over 8.5. Oakland +$1, under 9. Washington +1.5, under 8. Guardians +1.5, over 9. Yankees -145, under 9 runs. Bo Sox -150, under 9.5. Cardinals +1.5, over 8 in Game 2. Dodgers -1.5, over 8 runs. Dbacks +$1, over 9. And give me the Giants getting the job done for some money line cash. And with that, folks, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my premium site. Now, if you do end up getting a membership here today on patreon.com/BrockPage, just a friendly reminder, you're going to get access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days. As an added bonus, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships absolutely free. They're going to be included with your purchase. That's why I always tell folks that Chairman package, it's a full access, all-inclusive membership. Gives you access to every single premium selection of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. As an added bonus, you're also going to get access to my Chairman podcast absolutely free. It's going to be included with your purchase. But most importantly, folks, got to thank you for joining me right here on the free video. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. With that said, folks, happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my premium site at patreon.com/BrockPage.